Imagine discovering that 2,600 years ago, someone was secretly hiding forbidden books beneath their house. Not ordinary books. Books filled with demon names, curses, witchcraft rituals, and knowledge so dangerous that owning it could get you executed. Now imagine discovering that this same civilization also built the world's first postal system, invented international diplomacy, and may have witnessed the greatest collapse in human history. This isn't fantasy. This is the ancient Middle East. And the deeper archaeologists dig into its ruins, the stranger the story becomes. Because beneath the sands of Iraq, Syria, and the surrounding region lies a forgotten world filled with secret libraries, propaganda campaigns, mysterious disasters, and clues to one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. In the ancient city of Nippur, located in modern-day Iraq, archaeologists uncovered something unexpected. A private house. At first, it looked ordinary, but hidden inside were more than 100 clay tablets. These weren't government records. They weren't business contracts. They weren't school lessons. They were magical texts, ancient spells, anti-witchcraft rituals, instructions for dealing with demons. Some tablets mentioned terrifying supernatural beings such as Lamashtu, a demon believed to attack mothers and children. Others mentioned Pazuzu, a protective but feared spirit whose image would later inspire one of the most famous horror movies ever made. The strangest part? Some of these texts were considered illegal even in ancient Babylon. Certain forms of magic were classified as forbidden practices. According to Babylonian law, harmful magic could be punished by death. Yet someone spent years collecting and preserving these tablets. Why? We don't know. But evidence suggests the collection belonged to a family that passed magical knowledge down through generations. Even more mysterious, some tablets contain erased sections. Someone deliberately scratched out parts of the text, a form of censorship over 2,500 years old. It's a reminder that even in the ancient world, knowledge could be dangerous. And sometimes the most valuable information was the information people tried to hide. Most people imagine ancient empires as chaotic kingdoms ruled by warriors and kings, but the Akkadian Empire was something different. Around 4,000 years ago, it became the world's first true superpower, and it ran on paperwork. Lots of paperwork. Archaeologists have discovered thousands of clay tablets containing records of daily life, attendance sheets, worker schedules, payroll records, tax documents, government reports, even complaint letters. Imagine writing a formal complaint about missing grain shipments nearly 4,000 years ago. People did exactly that. The empire developed communication networks stretching across enormous distances. Messages moved between cities through relay systems that functioned surprisingly like a postal service. Governors exchanged reports. Officials tracked resources. Kings monitored distant provinces. At a time when much of the world was still developing basic settlements, Mesopotamian administrators were already managing complex bureaucracies. Even international diplomacy existed. The famous Amarna letters reveal kings from different nations writing to one another in Akkadian, the international language of the time. In many ways, the ancient Middle East wasn't primitive. It was astonishingly modern. But information can be used for more than organization. It can also be used for control. Few rulers understood this better than Sargon II of Assyria. When Sargon seized power around 722 BCE, he faced a problem. Many people questioned whether he was the rightful king, so he did something extraordinary. He rewrote history. Official records were altered. Previous rulers disappeared from important accounts. New royal inscriptions presented Sargon as the hero of events he may not have been responsible for. He even built an entirely new capital city. Dur-Sharrukin, the fortress of Sargon, a city designed to showcase his power and legitimacy. For generations, people accepted his version of events. Even modern historians believed parts of it. Then archaeologists began comparing independent sources, and the story started falling apart. Ancient chronicles contradicted his claims. Later documents exposed inconsistencies. One text written by a descendant even suggested that the gods punished Sargon for his deception. His body was never recovered after he died in battle. To the Assyrians, this was a terrifying sign. It suggested divine judgment. The man who tried to control history became one of history's greatest mysteries. Not every discovery from the ancient Middle East is inspiring. Some are deeply unsettling. For decades, historians argued about stories describing child sacrifice among Phoenician communities, especially in Carthage. Many scholars believed these accounts were propaganda spread by enemies. Then archaeologists started digging. They uncovered places called Tophets, large sacred areas filled with thousands of urns. Inside were cremated remains of infants and young children. The discoveries sparked intense debate. Were these simply cemeteries, or evidence of ritual sacrifice? New scientific studies have increasingly supported the idea that at least some of these sites were connected to religious offerings. The debate isn't completely over, but the evidence has forced historians to reconsider long-held assumptions. It's a reminder that ancient civilizations were complex, capable of remarkable achievements, and capable of actions that disturb us today. History isn't always comfortable, but understanding it means confronting both the brilliance and the darkness of the past. Then came the greatest mystery of all. Around 1200 BCE, something catastrophic happened. One after another, major civilizations across the eastern Mediterranean began collapsing. The Hittites vanished. Powerful cities burned. Trade networks disappeared. Entire kingdoms fell apart. Imagine if several of the world's largest nations collapsed within a single generation. That's how shocking this event was. For centuries, historians blamed mysterious invaders known as the Sea Peoples, but modern evidence suggests the reality was far more complicated. Drought, earthquakes, economic collapse, migration, war. Perhaps all of them happened at once. Then archaeologists discovered one of the most haunting documents ever found, a clay tablet from the city of Ugarit. The final message written before the city was destroyed. It reads, "Enemy ships have arrived. The city is being burned." Then the record ends. The message was never delivered. The messenger likely died before reaching his destination. Within days, the city disappeared forever. For over 3,000 years, that unfinished plea remained buried beneath the earth, waiting for someone to find it. When most people think about the ancient Middle East, they picture deserts, kings, and ruins. But the reality was far stranger. Secret libraries filled with forbidden knowledge, empires running on paperwork and administration, kings rewriting history, archaeological mysteries that still spark debate, and civilizations that collapsed so completely we're still trying to understand why. The ancient Middle East wasn't just the birthplace of civilization. It was the birthplace of many things we still recognize today. Government, diplomacy, recorded history, scientific observation, information networks, and perhaps most importantly, humanity's endless desire to preserve knowledge. Because thousands of years later, we're still reading their messages, still solving their mysteries, and still discovering that the ancient world was far more complex than we ever imagined.